Hello and welcome to Supercars with Curtis. Now before we begin the actual episode, I'd like to say that I got the most brilliant car poster in the world. The best car that you could potentially ever have a poster of. The Lamborghini Countach. I received this. And it is the best thing. You always hear of supercars as wall poster, pin-up poster, whatever they call them things. The Countach is the ideal car. In the time of the Countach production in the 70s and 80s, that was the car you would have a picture of on the wall. Now we have a Lamborghini Aventador as the modern car of today, which sets the windows blowing, surprisingly makes the poster stick out a lot, but it is by far the car of now. Have on your poster. But before, it was the Countach. Now to get into today's actual episode. We're going to talk about rock mountains with water. Not really, I just made it up. Okay. Today we are going to talk about this car here on the screen. This here is the Mercedes-Benz, no actually Mercedes McLaren SLR. I said Mercedes-Benz because I've seen it up in the top corner. This here was a crazy supercar that Mercedes and McLaren jointly made in 2003 to 2010. This here was, and still is, one of the ideal hypercars. I normally would say supercars, but this here is truly a hypercar. Yes, Lamborghinis, hypercar, supercar. Where the distinctive line goes over should be about 200, 210 miles an hour. But this here is a crazy car. Okay, now the fact is I forgot what the car was. I tried to look it up actually. I couldn't find the name of what it was. But Mercedes had made a car before the SLR. It was like their main car. But they said, and they had an AMG version too, they're like, we should make something a bit better. So, they went to McLaren, which at the time they owned 40% of McLaren. They went to McLaren and said, we're going to build a car together. We'll call it the Mercedes-McLaren SLR. And here it is. It's a brilliant look. You can see at the time of Mercedes, and even still a bit now, it has this weird little circular headlight. So you see them there, Mercedes badge, and it's very flat. We were talking about that last time. No, that was in a different. Oh, Supercars with Curtis and Auto Compare with Curtis. They're all blended together now. Okay. Anyways, in that one, yeah, okay. But this in here, very sleek, aerodynamic. That's how the doors open up. They look very, very cool. In 2010, this car was replaced by the Mercedes-Benz SLS, which is a brilliant car, but I think it's important for us now for me to show you somebody that owns an SLR. A picture of them. Pharrell. Pharrell owns a SLR, or at least he did. I don't know if he owns one now, but that's him with his hat, and we have another one with his brilliant looking hat. Before we actually get back to the actual episode, there he is. Happiness is the truth, which he says in the song Happy, and I totally agree with that. Those are like important words to me. You know how everybody has their own quote. That's something I like, and I agree with. Happiness is the truth. Alright, so now we're going to cast the actual picture. This here is Pharrell with an SLR in the background. You can see him looking up over the front of the camera, and there it is in the back, just parked there chilling. These are among other cars that, for instance, we're on the topic of the thing. There's also this car. He is in a Ferrari Enzo, right there. Chilling, looking out the window, he's like, sup. Okay, back to the SLR. Right. The front engine car. Okay, so it's got front engine and it's so its rivals at the time were the Aston Martin DBS V12 and Ferrari 599 GT Ferrantino. SLR stands for Sport Light Racing Sport or Sport Light Racing. Mercedes-Benz decided that they were going to build 3,500 of them over the 7 years of the thing, the production of the car. So it's about 500 were made a year. Now, important things to know. The manufacturer was technically McLaren Automotive. So they built the cars. But Mercedes got to put their badges all over it, and it was basically classified as a Mercedes. Bit unfair there, but whatever. So you can just take a look at that for a minute. And what's special about this car? Well, just look at it. Absolutely brilliant, amazing car. And actually fun to drive in Forza 4 if you have Forza for the Xbox 360. Or if you're getting Forza 5, I'm not sure if they're putting the SLR. I keep saying SLS because of the other Mercedes. I know in Forza 4 though, that is a brilliant car to race on the Top Gear test track. Me and Casey raced it. I did lose due to the fact that he had a crazy modified racing car. But for a regular road going car, this would be brilliant. So, this car was introduced in November 17th, 2003. And in April 4th, 2008, they announced that they were going to stop making it. And the end of 2009, the last one was made. And the last Roadster convertible one was made in 2010. Still a very, very awesome car. Now, the fact of this car is that the convertible at the time set the top speed for how fast a convertible would go. And that top speed was 206 miles an hour. Well, Bugatti, with their Veyron, was trying to set the top speed of a regular car with the roof on it, a production car with the roof on it, at 256. Okay, so at different times, the air brake would pop out of the back. So there's an automatic air brake when engage the rear elevation angle of the rear spoiler set to 65 degrees. It's automatically going to be at 65 degrees. Not bad. Let's see another version. In 2006, okay. So, in 2006, they introduced a new McLaren Mercedes SLR. I don't have a picture of it because I forgot to search it. But the fact of the matter is that this one here, not the picture, but the new one that they made in 2006 was called the Mercedes-Benz SLR Mclaren 722 edition. The 722 refers to the victory by Sterling Moss and his co-driver Dennis Jensen in the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR. Because this car was actually inspired by the SLR at that time. And so the 722 indicated a start time of 7:22 in the morning at the Mille Miglia in 1955. And it was basically just a more crazy version of it. So they had the here we're going to show you the car that I was referencing. The car was inspired by. Here is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, which is a sports racing car which won a championship in 1955. This is Sterling Moss, that picture in there, he's driving it. So, why not show a picture? Here it is. Mercedes-Benz SLR Mclaren 722 edition. Brilliant car right there. And there it is. This is that car. Now, this here is a windowless car that they made. This here is the car. Oh gosh, it's the Sterling Moss version. It's windowless, roofless car, similar to the Aventador J, and that brings you into the challenge for the what is that series called? Auto Compare, where we compare 2 brilliant cars. Yes, let's look this up. So in 2011, 2 years after the production of the SLR, McLaren resurrected, as they say on the page here, but they bring it back, make it better, and this here, as they call it here, it's the McLaren Edition. It's the final version of the car. They made 25 of them. And that is just a brilliant car right there. And it still has the Mercedes badge on it, even though it's the McLaren Edition. Only way you can know that this car is a McLaren is one of you know it. And the other fact is that they put a little badge right there that says McLaren. Big on the front, Mercedes-Benz back, Mercedes-Benz. All over it says Mercedes, except for right there on that side and the other side where it says McLaren. Two little teeny spots say McLaren. But this car is absolutely brilliant. I want to thank you for watching, and make sure you watch the next then when we compare the Sterling Moss SLR to the Lamborghini Aventador J.